Peace, y'all. It's the Lord here, Cold. I'm over here kicking it with my main man, Jay Wiggs. What's up, God?
It's good, Brody.
Can't call it as usual. Just want to welcome everybody to another episode of Brodies Sports Talk. We are in season 2, episode 5. Thanks everybody for joining. Before we get started, as usual, we want to thank everybody for their support on our platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you're not following us, I don't know why. We're almost to 1 million followers, over 650,000 viewers and counting. Go ahead and click on the bottom right-hand corner on YouTube and like and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But we got a lot of stuff to cover today, Brodies. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. It's a late night edition. We just finished watching Game 6 of the NBA Finals, where we thought, SGA and company were going to close it out, but unfortunately they came up a little short. And when you're trying to race for the title, every lap counts. So it's the final lap, y'all. Game 7 is coming this Sunday. It's the last leg of the race. It's going to be a photo finish, Wiggs. We called it. The Brodies called it. We said it was going to go 7 games.
No.
And Lord behold, it's Game 7 coming up soon. So we got a photo finish here, Wiggs. Who do you think's going to win this Game 7 and claim the NBA title?
Bro, I have no idea. And I can say that with all the confidence in the world. I have no idea. Everything that I thought was going to happen, the opposite has happened in this series. I thought OKC was going to close it out. They said Halliburton had a leg issue. He wasn't going to play. Halliburton ends up playing. He doesn't even have a great game. Ends up with 14 points. Siakam ends up with 16 points. 30 points between them. And Indiana blows out OKC. Like, you can't make that up. I just would never think that. Yeah, I would never think that would happen. I don't know what's going to happen in Game 7, and I'm not afraid to say that, because I think that's the great thing about this series is anything can happen. We said it at the beginning. Whoever wins is going to be winning for the franchise's first time. So that's going to be something that's amazing, something to look forward to. If I had to pick, it's in OKC, so I'm gonna go with OKC. That's what I was kind of thinking was gonna happen with the last 3 games, and somehow it did happen. But it's still just a crazy series, man. Like, it's just so unpredictable.
This is the matchup we were telling the world that this is what you can expect. You got 2 great offensive teams. They're both top 5 in offense, and they're both top 10 in defense. And I mean, they're both young, and they're both inexperienced. This is their first finals for a lot of the people on their roster. So, I mean, this is some great old fashioned basketball. You see team ball, like they're moving the ball, great defense. And it's not like they're not missing shots. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not having off games. Like they're just great defense versus great offense and vice versa on each squad. I mean, I'm looking at the box score here, and they're pretty much dead even. Field goals, 41.9% for OKC, 41.3% for the Pacers. Three-pointers. The Pacers were on today, 35.7. They were 15 for 42 versus 8 for 30 for OKC at 26.7%. So that was the deciding factor right there. Yeah. But total rebounds, 41 to 46 Pacers. Offensive rebounds look like they led in that. Defensive rebounds were pretty much dead even at 37, 35. I mean, they're just evenly matched. And it's just like one player can have an off game, which is going to be the deciding factor. I mean, Chet had 4 points. There you go, right there. He normally averages 15 to 20. There's your lead right there.
Yeah. Hey, Chet having 4 points is like, it doesn't make sense at all. That's a player with his size advantage. He's supposed to get 10 points just because of his advantage. And that's what he's been doing in this series, is just taking, using that advantage, running the floor. He's going to get 8 or 10 rebounds a game. He's been doing that. So to see him get 4 points, I mean, this is when it starts to look suspicious almost. Like, 4 points? Like, bro, are you throwing the game or something? Like, you wanted to win it in OKC? Possible. Yeah, so I was going to say, though, Co, I thought this series was going to be over in 5. So when you started in the beginning, I was going to give you credit because you said OKC in 7. So I thought OKC was. I didn't think this was going to be close. I thought it was going to be a good series, but I thought OKC was too good.
Yeah.
And I'll just go to what we thought. What we thought our headliner title might have been earlier in the week was we were going to be talking a little bit more about, I guess we talked a little bit about it last week. OKC's defense,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
their defense being historic, even.
Yeah, because this was supposed to be their closeout game. Because Hallie was supposed to be out, so the headline definitely had to change.
So I'm thinking we could have been talking about a historic defense from OKC, and not only historic defense, but historic showings from two of their players, SGA and Jalen Williams. J-Dub having 40 points in game 5, game 5, because game 6 just ended. J-Dub going off for 40 points as a second role player. I think 40 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And that was like a stat line that like only 2 or 3 other people have done, one of them being Michael Jordan. So he's doing incredible things. SGA is putting up stat lines that only Kobe and Jordan, people like that have done. So, I mean, when you have a series like this, you have a special team in OKC. And then you have a team in Indiana who it's a deep team, and it's not just one player. I think everybody is in agreement that Halliburton is good, but he's not a superstar. He's a star, but he's not a superstar. Yeah. So, but I think OKC has stars, and SGA, maybe even J-Dub being that Scotty role, like, and Scotty's been saying for the longest, I need my credit. J-Dub should get his credit. Like, that 40-point game was big. He's kind of done well in other games. So,
but
I don't know. What do you think?
It's a closeout game. So, he had a great game last week, but he only put up 16 in a closeout game. Let's see. SGA, he's been averaging 30. He put up 21. He
not good enough.
Not good enough. Chet Holmgren, we already talked about him with 4 points and 6 rebounds in 24 minutes. That's inexcusable. Dort only had 3 points, and the X Factor, Alex Caruso, didn't even score. So, they average 114 points, and they finished with 91. So
they're lowest all season.
All season. So it's like this. I think this is where the immaturity of the younger players and teams come into factor, because it's like, this is a closed out game, y'all.
Get it done. Michael Jordan never went to a game 7 in the finals.
I mean, Halliburton is hurt. I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to say they choked, but I don't think they understood the magnitude. I think they probably just said, you know what, we'll close out at home. Don't be so sure.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, don't be so sure, because they stole game 1 from y'all. They can steal game 7. So, like, I don't know. I think once it got to like 20 points, they were like, you know what? Let's just try to put some pride on the board. Let's hang it up. They're not going out without a fight. They're not going to sit up here and let us win on foreign soil. Let's just go win it, at home. So I get it, but I don't know, man. Halliburton is known for this whole playoff series of just like showing up when it mattered. They had the harder journey, if you ask me. They beat the champions. They beat New York. I mean, who OKC played? Memphis. Who else they played?
Damn,
they didn't play the Lakers.
Who did OKC play? OKC played Jokic. OKC played Jokic. So they did go against the Nuggets. That was a good game, and that one went to game 7. And I think by game 7, it just looked like OKC was a little bit more ready, a little bit more fresh. I think that's something that's interesting me in this series is OKC. We thought they had a deep team, but it feels like they're really dependent on their starting 5 in this series.
Yeah.
Their bench in this game had like 3 points here, 3 points there. Like you said, Caruso didn't have a lot of points off the bench. Wiggins has been scoring a lot for them in other games that they won, but in the games that they don't win, he ends up with like 3 points or 5 points.
Right.
So I don't think OKC's bench has been helping them out the way the Pacers bench has.
Yeah.
However, this series is so up and down. It's like one game the bench does well on OKC, the next game it's the Pacers, and it's been every other game. So that's the inexperience, that's the youth that we see, and I think that's what we're going to see in Game 7. I think they're going to get off to a slow start. Both teams, we're going to see a lot of missed shots, a lot of anxiety, because this is for the chip. It doesn't matter if I end up with 3 points. If we win, we win. We've seen Kobe have, tough games in Game 7 and get bailed out by Meta World Peace. So it's not always the stars that, do well in the Game 7, but it's a team sport. And I don't want to get ahead of myself with some of the things we're going to talk about when it comes to rings and media people, but it is a team thing, and I think the best team will win. We have two of the best teams in the NBA playing in this game, so I'm happy about that. I'm going to be tuning in on Sunday. What's better than that, man? Sunday night basketball finals, Game 7. That's big, man.
Yeah, we'll see how the funnel finishes for these two teams there, Brodies. But like and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Like and share and tell a friend to tell a friend. Moving on here, we're going to go to the gridiron. We got about another month and some change before training camp starts, and NFL season is going to kick back up, and things are just going to be back to normal. And fantasy football is prevalent in today's world, with sports betting and everything like that. And we're going to be picking up Wiggs Parlay Lock soon once the NFL season starts. But we want to help you guys start brainstorming for a championship run, or in my case, a championship defense. And we're going to be doing our top 50 fantasy players. So what's your fantasy, y'all? Like, who do you guys want on your fantasy team going into 2025? The Brodies are going to help you guys, starting with our countdown here, 50 to 1. Just like we did the mock draft, it's going to be some work, y'all, but the Brodies are here for you. So starting off at number 50, just to kind of give you guys a concept of how we're going to break down the countdown here. We're going to be basing it off of later rounds to the first. And who do we think is going to be available right around that 6th or 5th round? And we're going to work our way up to the number 1 pick. So starting off at number 50, Wiggs, who do you got?
All right, at number 50. So I have a couple of rookies late on my list, and I might be reaching a little bit, because I think it's always a reach when you go with a rookie. We saw Brock Bowers have success last year. So you can have success with a rookie. So this one might be a reach, but I'm going with Travis Hunter at 50. He's just so special. He's so dynamic. He's the type of player that late in the draft, I want to pick him up, because I think he just might be able to be incredible. And I think Travis Hunter might be incredible in the league. He has a really good receiver on the other side in Brian Thomas. So that's going to take some pressure off of him. He doesn't have to be the number 1 receiver, but I think he still might be the number 1 receiver there, which is crazy to say. So I think he's going to be available late or around this time, and I might just have to take a reach and go get Travis Hunter. You heard it here first.
I think it's a risky pick because he's going to be playing on both sides of the ball. Pause. But that might take away from some of his fantasy production, on the offensive side, him playing defense. But in a PPR league, I like the pick because, the B word is going to need to have a bounce back year. And I think Travis Hunter is going to help him out there. So I definitely like the pick there, Wiggs. Now, moving on to number 49, I got AK-47, Alvin Kamara, running back for the Saints. Now, running backs typically decline after year 3 or 4. He's been in the league longer than that. But I think because he's a dual threat, it kind of kept some of the tread on the tire from a running back standpoint. But he is a workhorse, and he also gets a lot of touches, from a PPR standpoint. So if you guys are looking for a flex spot, or maybe even a running back too. Alvin Kamara is your guy. What do you think, Wiggs?
I love it. I mean, I told you, Cole, before we started, when we were going over this list, he's not going to be available if I'm in the league with you. I'm taking him way earlier. I had him on my team last year. He won me a couple games with just some great performances. So Alvin Kamara is high on my list. I think that's a great pickup if you get him here. I got him last year, I want to say in like the 6th round. It was just great value. And I think it's like you said, Cole, for whatever reason last year, running back was just not valued well. Like I think you got Derrick Henry maybe a little bit later, and he just had a great year. And it was just like, I don't know what the hell we were thinking, man. Like we were thinking the same thing the league was thinking, is that running backs were devalued. So I love the pick, though. Like if he's available there, it's great value.
Yeah, and continuing on, who you got at number 48?
All right, so 48. This is a place, it's kind of like the rookies. I might be reaching here, but I think sometimes you have players that are they're the clear second running back or second wide receiver, but they're so good they deserve to get picked. I've got David Montgomery at 48.
I thought you had Omarion.
Oh, I'm sorry, Omarion Hampton. You're right. I'm looking at my other list.
Yeah, that's the waiver wire list.
Hey, no, because he's coming up at 40 at another number. So we're gonna get to him. Okay. But Omarion Hampton at 48, he's another one that's in the 2-back system, but I think he's gonna be the number 1 back. So Omarion Hampton in that San Diego or LA Chargers, I should say, offense is.
I like that because he's going to be in that Harbaugh run offense. He's going to get at least 15, 20 touches a game. I can pretty much guarantee that. So I definitely agree with that pick. Moving on, we got number 47. Now, this particular player, he got injured last year, but he should be full strength by the time things roll around. And that's Rashee Rice, wide receiver for the Chiefs. Right now, the Chiefs, from an offensive weapon standpoint, they're going to need him. I don't think Travis Kelce really, he's just going to be that veteran in the locker room this year. Look for Travis Kelce to maybe get 500, maybe 600 yards receiving. That 1,000-yard run has run its course. But I think Rashee Rice might have a breakout year. Look for him to have a 1,000-yard season. What do you think, Wicks?
I have a question for you, Co. I like the addition of what you think Travis Kelce is going to do. What do you think Xavier Worthy is going to do? Do you have him higher or lower than Rashee Rice?
I think he would come in a little higher ranking wise because of the speed.
Okay.
But this is their possession receiver right here.
Okay. I like it. I like the pick, man. Like I told you, he's just off my list, but he's still in that range. He's in that range. If somebody takes him, you're going with Patrick Mahomes. A receiver with Patrick Mahomes, you can't go wrong with that. So I like that.
Yeah. Now coming in at 46, you had the pick swapped. So coming in at 46, who you got, Wiggs?
Hey, Detroit, I just got a little bit happy, man. But let's go with David Montgomery. Like I said, this is a great running back system. The only thing I may be a little bit worried about is who's going to be the offensive play caller. Are they going to be as good as he's not my guy, Ben Johnson, but he was. I can respect his play calling. Yeah, and he was a really good play caller. So, are they still going to be running the ball? If they are, David Montgomery's the goal line running back. You gotta love that in fantasy. He's going to get a touchdown damn near every week if he's in the game. You can count. So I love David Montgomery in this range.
Yeah, I like the pick. I think they might convert to more of a run heavy offense next year. Because Jared Goff showed who he is in the clutch, in the playoffs. So they're like, you know what? If they would have ran the ball, they would have won. But for some odd reason, they just don't believe in running backs anymore. They think they're just good for short yardage plays and touchdowns and all this other stuff, but not to run the offense through and not to pay a handsome dollar to be, especially when you're riding on their shoulders. But Baltimore got it right. And speaking of Baltimore, coming in at number 45, we got Zay Flowers, wide receiver for the Ravens. I like this pick here, Wiggs, because This is their number one target going into 2025. Andrews and Likely are
Splitting
they're
targets.
average. Yeah, they're solid targets. But and Bateman, he's pretty
He
cool.
just
But
resigned.
yeah, but like he's not the go-to guy. I think he's going to be that. He could be that possession receiver, but the number one receiver out there right now, until further notice, is Zay Flowers. I look for him to get all of the targets, especially the deep passes. So yeah, what do you think, Wiggs?
Hey, I love Zay Flowers, man. I love him with Lamar. Lamar is just so dynamic, man. Like Lamar is damn near underrated. That's how good he is. Like it's the
Yeah,
fact he hasn't won a chip yet. I think that's the only thing that's got Lamar rated down. But I like Zay Flowers in that offense. I think he can get 80 to 100 yards every game. And I think when you look at the team last year, again, I'll go to the offense. I don't know who the offensive play caller is going to be this year for them. And that's the only thing I'll say is, are they going to do what they need to do? Give Derrick Henry the ball, make Zay
I think they
Flowers
still
the
got
number one
both.
option. Okay, so
Yeah,
is he gonna give Derrick Henry the ball more and go to the tight ends a little bit more? I like Isaiah Likely in this offense. Is Rashad Bateman getting his money gonna push the targets to him so maybe they don't have to pay Zay Flowers more? Like the politics of sports sometimes is the only thing I worry about. But
yeah.
Baltimore needs a win. If they want to do that, get Zay Flowers a ball, and if they can do that, I love this pick.
Yeah, very solid pick there. Now, next we are moving on to number 44, staying in the same division. Who you got coming in at number 44, Wicks?
Hey, staying with good quarterbacks in that division, I'm going with one of Joe Burrow's targets that got re-signed this offseason, T. Higgins at 44. And to me, T. Higgins is one of those receivers that he's going to be a number two receiver, but he's a number one receiver body type, number one receiver type skill. He's playing with a great quarterback. So this is just a great situation
Yep.
for T. Higgins. And I think he's going to do very well. I would be happy to get him at this point in the draft.
Yeah, I agree. He's a number one receiver on anyone else's offense. And he's had those number one type games. I would say the only thing with T. Higgins is the targets. Like I think Jamar Chase obviously is going to hog most of those targets, but there's going to be games where he's going to be the focal point, and there's going to as far T. Higgins wise, but there's going to
Scheme
be other
wise, yeah.
games. Yeah, there's going to be other games where he may not touch the ball, but like he may get like 4 receptions, 50 yards, and a touchdown. That's like 10 or 12 points. So that's solid. That's solid number two flex numbers. Like right now, I'd say the top 25 players are all going to be, RB2s, wide receiver twos, wide receiver threes, tight ends, and flexes. So these are the people that you're going to be looking to take in the later rounds here.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to number 43, we're going to go to the AFC South. We got Joe Mixon coming in here for the Tennessee Texans. Now, I'm sorry, Tennessee Texans, the Houston Texans. Now, his carries are going to take a drop now that Nick Chubb is there. But this is one heck of a two-headed monster, man. Like, honestly, if you ask me, Nick Chubb should start. So, a healthy Nick Chubb. I'll take a healthy Nick Chubb over Joe Mixon, even though Joe Mixon is good.
Whoa.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't have an issue with Nick Chubb starting. I really wouldn't have an issue if he's healthy. But Joe Mixon, he's going to be he's going to be the third down back. He's the one that can
Sure.
catch the screens and all that good stuff. So look for him to have a solid season. Like I said, the production might take a little bit of a hit with Chubb there, but I like him as a wide receiver, a running back two, or a flex. What do you think, Wicks?
I have a quick question. Where are you putting Nick Chubb in your draft position? Ahead of Mixon or a little bit behind?
For the sake of this one, I'd probably say he's going to be a little bit behind because he's going to be like the short yardage guy, But I like Mixon to get more touches from a PPR standpoint.
Okay, so Chubb is one of those players that isn't gonna make our top 50 list, but we wouldn't be surprised if down the line, because you know how fantasy is. The waiver wire is so important.
Yep.
Injuries come into play, so
Yep.
Chubb could
This
end
is a
up
great
being the number
handcuff
one.
tandem here.
Exactly. Great point, Co. This is a great handcuff tandem. You can probably get Chubb late because of the injury concern. You don't know quite what he's going to do, but we know the type of heart that Chubb brings to any team. And that's why you say, you know, especially a healthy Chubb, he can very well be the number one running back on a team that has Joe Mixon. And that's saying a lot because I think very highly of Joe Mixon. I mean, he did great in the playoffs last year. I think he did great during the season. We'll get to see what our team can do with Laramie Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil was blocking for Mixon, and Mixon had a great year. So I can't wait to see what Tunsil can do with us. But I love Mixon at that spot. And again, I had Mixon a lot earlier. So if you're in my league, Co, you better get Mixon earlier because he's not gonna be in the 40s. I'm getting him earlier if I can. I love Mixon.
I might get you off of a trade though. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. So who you got coming in at number 42, Wicks?
All right, 42. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right list. All right, so this is another wide receiver 2, and I think he's number 2 on his team, but he's a number 1 receiver on a lot of other teams, and that's George Pickens for the Dallas Cowboys. He was number 1 with the Steelers, working with 4 different quarterbacks. Now he's going to have Dak Prescott throwing to him, and you know Dak likes to throw. Their offense usually likes to throw the ball. He's got CeeDee Lamb on the other side, so again, CeeDee's going to take a lot of targets, but that's also going to be a good distraction for George Pickens to get some one-on-one coverage and maybe do some really big things. So, what do you think about George Pickens here, Co?
I mean, George Pickens fights is going to be a very solid pick. Okay, George Pickens fights. That's gonna be his name. 'Cause, like this dude stay picking a fight, but like I like the pick because like you said, the Dallas offense is very pass heavy, and they're going to feed off of each other. You can't double CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. They're both possession receivers. They both can take the top off. They both are physical. They both can go over the middle. They both have speed. More reason why I love Adam Peters for taking Trey Amos, and beefing up this secondary because that's some serious firepower.
Marshawn Lattimore and George Pickens next year is going to be must-see TV.
There's going to be a lot of personal fouls out there.
Must-see TV.
It's going to be must-see TV. I can't wait, yo. But moving on here, we're going to go back to the NFC North. We're going to go back to the D, okay, to the Motor City, okay. Pause. We got Sam Laporta coming in for the Lions. Now, he may go a little early. There's not too many name brand tight ends. You have a bunch of let's see, you got Sam Laporta, you got George Kittle. Still, you got Travis Kelce, Andrews, likely
Trey
McBride, and also Bowers.
Bowers.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bowers is going to go a little early in the first or second round, but we'll see as we go through the countdown. But
we got Hawkinson, and then we got 2 rookies.
He's coming
Loveland and Warren. The 2 rookies might have to be higher up on the list if we can get some Brock Bowers type performances.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but that is 50 through 41 there, Brodies. Like and comment and let us know what you think. You need to be following us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But we got the next segment here coming up. Now, there's a lot of talking, right, going on between athletes and also between sports commentators. You got people trolling people like this clown that was trolling the Brodies earlier this week for no daggone reason. Everybody has their own opinion. So one thing's for sure, sports definitely come with voices, right? You're going to have everyone that has their own opinion. You know what I'm saying? And if anyone is from our generation, they know what SWV stands for. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the sisters with voices. You know what I'm saying? But this
Okay.
is sports with voices. And we're
Facts.
basically going to be giving our 2 cents on sports commentary and just like the effects of just how it impacts sports and just like how everybody thinks that just because you didn't play this sport or you didn't do this, you don't have an opinion. I mean, like, to start things off, just like with the commentary of the NBA Finals, like it's getting a lot of backlash, with Stephen A. Smith and how he was on his phone playing solitaire during a commercial. You can't do that, brother.
Chill out, Stephen A.
Thank God it was solitaire. Thank God they
And
ain't
that's
catching
something
like
that,
on
hey,
OnlyFans
chill
or something
out,
like
bro.
that, or looking at some twerking IG model. So thank God
Nah,
that he
for
was,
real.
doing something appropriate, but still not work appropriate. But the commentary, it's lackluster at best. It's not really entertaining. The halftime show really isn't that good. I mean, with inside the NBA going off, people are just like starting to highlight how lackluster other commentary shows are. But yeah, man. I mean, I think for me personally, the one thing I want to address is the trollers that have something to say on someone else's show.
Tell them how
So
you feel, cuz. Tell
if
them
you
how
don't
you
know
really feel,
Brodies,
though.
I forgot the dude's name because no one knows who he is.
Because he's irrelevant, dog.
But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tag that dude on this segment.
Facts.
This dude literally, like, we were commenting on Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and then this dude just says like some stupid stuff like, why do we have a show and we shouldn't be talking because we never played pro ball. Negro, neither did you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You over here
Facts.
playing for your church league. You know what I'm saying? Like the little reversible jerseys.
Hey,
Instead of you having 2 digits, it's 3 digits because there's
I
so
was
many
playing for De La
participants.
Soul.
You know what I'm saying? No one cares about your rec center league. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't when you only have 5 games. You know what I'm saying? And everybody makes the playoffs.
Come on
But
now.
like, I don't have to be a pro basketball player to know pro basketball. Like, we've been
Facts.
commenting on the finals this entire month. We've been stating the obvious. And we called that it was going to go in 7 games, and here we are at Game 7. Like, I don't know, Wiggs.
So,
What do you think, man?
I was going to say, not only that, we've been watching basketball for over 40 years. I don't mind putting my age out there because that just shows the experience, man. Like, I think that's the thing with the internet, too, is I'll say 2 things. One, we could be talking to 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. Like, you really don't know how old people are. And for whatever reason, and this has been going on for ages and centuries, young people thinking they know more than old people. A 16-year-old in high school, when I was 16, just because I could do calculus, maybe I start thinking I know more than my mom or my dad because I know calculus and they don't know calculus. No, it's a lot of stuff that they know that I have no idea about because I have never lived life. So we got kids on social media that think, oh, you guys don't know anything because you don't say LeBron is the GOAT. Because we've seen Michael Jordan. You've never seen Michael Jordan with your own eyes play a game, so you don't know what to compare him to. We've seen Jordan. We've seen Kobe. We've seen Shaq. We've seen Yao Ming. We've seen greatness. So when we see greatness, we can grade it and we can say, okay, we can compare it to this and we can give our opinion on it. Right. So yeah, no, I think one is the experience, and then two is I think it's seeing different generations. And we come from a generation where we were actually outside playing. So we weren't just watching these things. We were playing basketball too.
Right.
And just playing the game from whatever age, like, you don't have to be pros. How many people are pros? How many coaches are pros?
Right.
Like, Stephen A. Smith was not playing professional basketball. He's a good journalist. He has been a good journalist in the past. And we'll get to Stephen A. Smith a little bit more. But first, just about anybody that's given an opinion. Again, you can be a great coach and not be the best player. you can be a good player and not be a good GM. We see what
Or a
Michael
good
Jordan
coach.
did,
We saw that.
or a
Yep,
good coach.
exactly.
We've
Horrible
seen
GM and owner.
exactly. So just because you're the best player in the world, doesn't mean you're going to be a good GM. Jerry West is a great GM,
Yep.
and he's a great player. It doesn't always work out like that. So that's just the other part of it. So then, yeah, let me get into Stephen A. Smith. I don't think he's been as good as he has been in the past. I do think Stephen A. Smith has lost a little bit of the journalism and entered a little bit into the New York entertainment front page of the what are those magazines that used to be in the stores? Like, it's like the New York magazine where it's all drama on the front page. I can't even remember the name of it, but
I know what you're talking about. The National Inquisitor.
Yeah, National Enquirer. Yeah, like stuff like that. That's the New York entertainment style that Stephen A. Smith has. And a lot of people I know don't watch First Take anymore. Like, we used to have ESPN on all day, Co. Sports Center with the ticker was great. You're gonna get highlights. You're not gonna get a lot of opinions. It's just who won, who was better. That's all we need. Then you introduce Cold Pizza, First Take, and this debate thing takes off, and it has numbers. And again, it's just like we said with the finals. The numbers might not reflect that this is how good this finals is.
Right.
The numbers for First Take and Undisputed are so good. Sometimes they're mistaking us tuning in because we're so used to seeing breaking news now. And breaking news, everything is breaking news now, that we're tuning in, but the product is not as good as it used to be because the opinions are based on BS. Skip Bayless, for instance. Skip Bayless has given so many BS opinions about LeBron over the years that it's like I'm watching just to see if he's ever going to admit that he's wrong. And then after a while, I'm like, yo, this dude's a clown. So there are clowns in the industry. Skip Bayless, Jason Whitlock, people like that. There are cornballs in it.
A little bit of a slurper too. That boy love him some LeBron James.
Facts. You got your slurpers. You got your slurpers. For sure you do. And then you got your cornballs like RG3, who just might not be able to cover a topic the way somebody like Ryan Clark does. I think Ryan Clark does a really good job of trying to give you the layers of something. And even Ryan Clark messes up and has to apologize, like he did with the RG3 thing, because he did bring in RG3's wife. So he did kind of cross a boundary of, even though she was in the video, you don't have to speak about her. So it's so many and again, like you said, Co, and I'll wrap up here and you can kind of chime in. Somebody just commented on our video because that's the internet. Like, somebody can just do that. Like, they can just start watching some of our videos and be like, y'all are trash. Or, nah, you know what? I had a couple people reach out to me this week and be like, yo, I really fuck with y'all show. Like, I love what y'all are doing, man. Y'all are consistent. Y'all are putting out stuff. I like the way y'all talk about the topics. Like, just showing love. Like, so, you get both sides because that is the internet. So, I really don't care. I mean, not to say I really don't care. I care a lot about what we're doing, but I'm not going to let somebody's opinion. And I'll make one last point, because Wale was in the news and Kai Cenat was acting like he didn't know Wale. And Wale's always been a little sensitive and insecure about stuff like this. I can be sensitive and insecure, but it's certain things where you just got to know what comes with the territory. We didn't delete any of those comments because it's like, yo, this is what comes with the territory. If we're going to put our stuff out for the internet and for the world, some people are not going to like it. So the fuck what? Like,
I mean, that's basically what I made peace with before we started this, because it's like everybody's going to have their opinion, which is understandable. But it's the random disrespect. Like we didn't say anything. It's just warranted. It comes with the territory. But it's like we didn't say
the disrespect
anything
is
wrong.
different.
We didn't say anything disrespectful. We were just analyzing and breaking down a part of a game. And like I said, we weren't talking about anybody. I could see if we were calling someone some trash or something.
Yeah, it wasn't even a bad take.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like now, if he would have commented on one of our LeBron takes, then I was like, okay, yeah, cool. We got another slurper here who forgot his bib at home, and is dripping on his shirt, But this dude just started frying us up for no reason. Yeah. And then we're like, yo, what's the problem? Like, what did we say?
He was on his period. He just got dropped. He just got dropped from a team, bro. Like, he just got dropped from his church league.
I went D1. I played D1, and bruh.
And I'm like, all right, show your stats. If you play D1, show your stats. My man would not put the stats. He would not put the stats up.
Yo, then he was like, I got at least 3 to 4 people that can vouch for me. I'm like, bro, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Doug, we have Google. All you got to do is tell us what team you play for. You won't put it up there because you play for a church league, my guy.
Like, bro, like you over here playing AAU basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like no one cares about your boys and girls club title run. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even have a real jersey. You have an iron-on shirt. You know what I'm saying?
And again, and this is the thing, Cole. If he really had an opinion, you could make a podcast. He could do that, and he could put his voice. Exactly. You could talk about the game. You can coach. Exactly. You can coach. You can do all of these things that contribute something, but you're not doing any of that. You're being negative and disrespectful, and that's the part where it's like, bro, get the fuck out of my face, man.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna interact with us, that's cool. We don't have a problem with people interacting on our TikTok pages. Bunch of comments. People are interacting.
Hey, nah, the back and forth on TikTok be funny.
It's hilarious, right? But it's like they're commenting on the post, like they're talking about the post. His comment had nothing to do with our post, and then he just went on this rant about how he played D1 basketball and played overseas for the Enchilada All-Stars. You know what I'm saying? And thinking. I'm like, dude, you know how bad you are? Bronny James will cook you. Like, you're not even in the D League. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if you were
he getting cooked at LA Fitness. He's definitely getting cooked at LA Fitness.
Bro, like if he was commenting on the actual post, if we were talking about the game, that's one thing. But he just was just going off about nothing and bragging about his stats. And I'm like, okay, I'll go on your page. I don't see no clips. You know what I'm saying? Like you go on our page, you can see us talking about basketball, football, and everything else. Like we even talked about gold digging hoes. So I'm like, bruh, like comment on what we're commenting on. People are always going to have their opinion. Yeah, sports is always going to have a voice. How else are you going to keep debates up and and make stories worth telling in the future? And speaking of which. It's embarrassing how the NBA dropped the ball, on this. And maybe we can do another segment next week on this, but they did a horrible job marketing the superstars. The simple fact that we're in the NBA finals and we have the league MVP and no one knows who he is. No one knows his story. No one knows how he got to America. No one knows how he came from Canada, and all this other stuff. They don't know nothing of his backstory. They don't know J-Dub's story. Halliburton's story. No one knows anything. You remember, they used to do those little profiles before the finals game started on players.
Man. Yes, dog. That's such a good point. Sheesh.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. It's going to be an ongoing debate. It's never going to change. People are always going to troll. But the Brodies are with it. We want the smoke, Wigs.
Hold up. I know you're about to end the session, but I did have a couple questions, Cole. Where do you see the industry 10 years from now? Because I know the podcasts are hot. I know that players are doing more podcasts. We still have the journalists that are doing it. Where do you see things 10 years from now? Do you see podcasts taking over completely? Is radio done? Is ESPN done? Like, is this the end of ESPN and we're just slowly seeing it dwindle? Or do you think they rekindle getting Shaq and Chuck in there?
I mean, I think 10 years from now, you're going to definitely see more podcasts take over, just like they did with the Pat McAfee show. Like that was technically like, its own YouTube channel podcast,
Yeah.
and they signed them and bring them on. So you'll start seeing more shows like ours on major TV networks soon in the next 10 years. And you never know, maybe they might start having those type of podcast hosts NBA Finals games, or having like a dual type of broadcast, like how Monday Night Football does with the Manning brothers.
It's kind of like the streamer thing. It's like the Kai Cenat stuff. Like that's becoming a little bit more popular. I think I saw him at the BET Awards. I like what you said about Peyton Manning. So it's kind of like Peyton streaming the game while the game is on. So you're flipping back and forth. So, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, you'll see more home commentary. But, regardless of how the word needs to be put out, it's always going to be put out. And one thing that I need to put out there right now, Brodies, is this. This is not a LeBron James bashing show, okay? It is not, Wiggs. We say this all the time. It is not a LeBron James bashing show. But some people call him the king. Some people call him the GOAT. And I, sir, call him a false prophet. And in recent news, this narcissistic BAN tactic just keeps showing up whenever LeBron James feels like no one's paying him attention. He does something to garner that attention. Oh, look at me. Everybody look at me. I know I'm not in the playoffs. I know I hurt my knees, supposedly, but everybody look at me. The narcissism just won't stop, and I can't.
In the middle of the finals, like I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. Yeah, I like it, but I don't. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, he was on a podcast with Steve Nash, who's probably going to be
his podcast, not just a podcast, his podcast.
His podcast. Okay. So he's on his podcast with Steve Nash, and he's talking about ring culture and how he doesn't get it. And he's arguing that, individual greatness shouldn't be tied down to championships and everything like that. So I don't know if you heard that. I don't want to make sure I got do not call, do not disturb on my phone, but you got to give me a ring if you hear that. Okay. Should rings matter in the GOAT debate, Wiggs?
Absolutely. Of course they matter. Like, let's be serious. And again, LeBron, you know this because you went to Miami and said, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. That's what you said, LeBron. You were going beyond 6 because 6 was the magic number. The only reason we don't say Kobe is better than Jordan is because he has 5. If Kobe has 7, Kobe would be number 1.
Yeah.
But nobody would be able to argue me that. If Kobe had 7 rings, he would be number 1 over Jordan. So rings matter. And LeBron knows that. And that's the thing. So let me add some context. LeBron was talking about the people that don't have rings because Stephen A. Smith, going back to our last segment, said that Giannis Antetokounmpo's career would be underachieving. He would be underachieving if he only ended his career with 1 ring, the ring that he already has. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, Stephen A.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Sometimes he just trolls,
It's the entertainment aspect. Yeah. He's gonna exactly. He's just trying to get clicks and views, and he understands that. He understands that to a point where, bro, you don't have to do that anymore. You're past that. You're a journalist. But anyway, LeBron was replying to that, in my opinion, and he was trying to take up for those guys. But in his trying to take up for those guys, he's also trying to change the narrative for himself.
He ain't trying to take up for them. He's using them as a scapegoat because he knows he's going to catch Jordan.
Nah, I agree. And I think but that's what I'm saying. He's trying to say it in a way that's like, nah, I'm taking up for the Karl Malones and the Charles Barkleys. Yeah. And you telling me those guys not good? Nobody said they're not good, LeBron, but they're not you. And you talking about Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Peyton Manning is not in Tom Brady's conversation.
He's not. Even he's not one of the greatest quarterbacks, but ring-wise,
he's not Tom Brady.
Here's another thing, Wiggs, and shout out to Kevin Sheehan for this. he said that you you can't compare, like, when it comes to rings, football and basketball, they're two different sports. Like, you can tie rings to a quarterback and their greatness because they don't play defense. They only play one role on one side of the ball. LeBron plays offense and defense, so rings should matter a little bit more. Like,
Facts.
Dan Marino
Facts.
is still considered to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time without a Super Bowl. But if we're talking one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he's not the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
He's not in that conversation with Tom Brady. He's not.
Exactly. Now,
I got Dan Marino right here. He's not in that conversation, though.
Right. So when you take it to basketball, everybody likes to say, "Oh, if rings matter, then Robert Ory is better than Jordan." And I'm like, look,
come on, let's not be ridiculous.
We're not just talking rings. And first of all, we're talking superstars, their accolades and what they've accomplished.
And those are the trolls. Yeah, those are the trolls. The people that say that. Player. Yeah, you know that.
You know what I'm saying? Derek Fisher's a role player. We're not talking the teammates that won with the superstars. We're talking about the superstars. And if LeBron James said that he doesn't get ring culture, my dude, you're the catalyst for it. You started all of this crap. Why did you leave Cleveland the first time? To win a ring.
Get rings.
Why did you leave Miami and come back to Cleveland to win a ring?
Get a ring?
Why did you go to LA to win a ring? You didn't go there for the popcorn.
Why do you trade rookie every time you get a rookie? Why do you trade them? Because you want veterans on your team so you can fight for a ring. You're not trying to build and rebuild.
Coaches? You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron,
to compete for a ring.
It's all about rings.
It's all about it. Yeah. That's why I said I didn't like the way he went out. And again, I love the debates. Let me just say that off the break. I could talk about this stuff all season long. Like, this debate goes on, and this debate will probably go on for eternity because of the way it's set up, where LeBron's not getting any more rings unless they get some great players. They can, because LeBron is good enough to be a third option. I think we said that during the year. He's good enough to be a third option. They have Luka. They can get another player. So I'll just say that LeBron can get another ring, and that just makes the conversation even more. But sticking to where the conversation is right now, I don't know why LeBron is mad about it. Like, I think that's another thing. Like, LeBron, we're talking about you and Jordan. We're not talking about, and I think LeBron is listening to the trolls because, it's some people that are like, oh, LeBron's not even top 5 this. Stop it. LeBron is top 5. Like,
he's top 5 everything. Like, I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and deny the man's greatness. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's just not number 1 or 2 in my eyes. And again, that's my opinion, even if I have facts to back it up. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, dude, he does this every single year during the playoffs when they're not talking about him and they're talking about other players, and he gets, his panties in a bunch and he has to say or do something, that's going to garner attention back on him again. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, a couple of months later, from down the road, no one's talking about basketball at all, and he just comes out randomly and says, "You know what? I think I'm probably going to play another 5 years. I want to play with my son Bryce too," just to get the internet on fire, or some stupid stuff like that, or him, you know what? I think I might want to be traded, or just saying some stupid stuff to keep the spotlight on him. Because, like, this is the dumbest thing ever to sit here and say, "Oh, I don't understand ring culture," when your entire career has been based off of chasing rings, bro. Are you serious?
And to say it right now during the NBA Finals, to say it during the NBA Finals, LeBron is starting to lack awareness. Again, it's just like the All-Star stuff. Him not showing up to the All-Star. LeBron, what kind of example are you sending? Saying that, oh, who would want to be the face of the league? LeBron, you've been the face of the league for 20 years. Like, what kind of representative for the NBA are you? Look at Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson he was just on First Take this week. He's still being an ambassador for the league. Right. LeBron, like, you're missing the point. Like, you're supposed to be the greatest ambassador. Even Jordan. Jordan retired because he was fed up with the league and stuff like that. He still came back. He still became an owner. To do those things, you still have to play a certain part. You still have to be a certain level of professionalism. You still have to understand that if we're talking about you and Jordan, we're talking about the NBA. We're talking about you. Like, no publicity. We just had a whole segment about some negative shit. No publicity is bad publicity. So LeBron, take it for what it is. Like, don't be mad at it. Hey, yeah, nah, man. I think I have other things to say, but yeah, nah. Go ahead, Cole.
He likes to play the victim role. Like, he's sitting there saying, "Oh, it's never enough," or just solely focusing on rings dismisses the accomplishments of players who haven't won championships. I'm like, well, who brought this topic up, LeBron, and why are you speaking on it with 4 rings?
Facts. During the finals,
I can see if you didn't have any championships and you're making your case.
Stayed in Cleveland and didn't get any chips, right?
Yeah, but like, bro, you got 4 rings. So why are you sitting up here trying to defend dudes that don't have rings like you're doing them a favor?
And they're not in your conversation.
Fight for them, like
and LeBron thinks he's the best player in the world, which means nobody's in your conversation, right, LeBron? So what's your criteria, LeBron? Let me know that.
If rings didn't matter, you wouldn't have stayed in the Eastern Conference as long as you did to get to all them finals. If rings didn't matter, why are you even playing the game if rings don't matter? Like, you play to win the game.
Yeah. Bro, that's what I'm saying. For him to say that during the finals, Cole, it's really bad. Like, that's not something you say during the finals. You're trying to hype up. You're trying to keep the credit on the teams that are there. They deserve the TV time. They deserve our attention. You keep the credit on them. To say something about ring culture and why is ring culture so important? These teams are about to do something for their franchises that have never been done. Reggie Miller, look at all the people that were at the game tonight. Reggie Miller's wearing a Jalen Rose jersey representing the franchise, being an ambassador for the league because it matters. So to say that is like, Reggie's going to feel like he got a ring. That's how much rings matter.
Oh, he's definitely
the franchise is going to get a ring. Reggie's going to feel like he got one just because the franchise got one. The whole city, Indiana, will absolutely tear down Indiana because that's how much rings matter. Philadelphia tears down the city and nobody blinks an eye because rings matter. Like, what are we talking about? We play to win the game, LeBron.
This is the BA in this that I keep pointing out. Like, he knows that he's not going to catch Jordan, even if he does win another ring. He's still
not getting 2.
He's not getting 2, and he knows that. And if for some reason his ego,
he's not accepting it.
His ego won't accept it, and it's like, bro, you've done incredible. You got 4 rings. You've gone to 10 finals. That's still amazing, despite you losing 6 of them. You're the greatest scorer of all time. You have a career triple-double, basically, in rebounds and assists.
Hold up, Code. This is where he gets mad. You're not the greatest scorer. You have the most points.
But
we don't say you're the greatest scorer.
You got the most points,
And that's one of the things that his ego is like. He starts fucking like Spidey senses going off and like something's wrong. No, LeBron, you don't have to be the greatest. You don't have to have the best bag. You don't have to have the best. You don't have to have Kyrie's handles and Steph Curry's shot.
He hates criticism. Like, dude,
you're
one of the greatest players, but you're not the best at everything. You have horrible ball handling skills.
That's where he go. That's where they gonna get us. Hey, first of all.
No, you don't handle
the ball handling skills.
You have ball handling skills. You don't have the best jump shot. You know what I'm saying? You suck at the free throw line.
It's inconsistent.
You turn the ball over. You don't play good defense.
Facts.
You're just a 6'8", 260-pound dude that doesn't get hurt, that can run a 4.3 and has a 45-inch vertical.
Listen,
and you have a high IQ.
Shaq is the most dominant center I've ever seen. He wasn't a great defender.
No.
He wasn't a great rebounder. Shaq knows that. Like, Shaq is not running from that. Shaq will just respond, and who could stop me? And nobody, and everybody be like, "You're right. You're right." It like that's all LeBron. If LeBron was to be responding like that, none of these conversations would happen because we'd be like, "You're right, LeBron." He'd be like, "I know I don't have the best bag, and I'm still the number one scorer." You're right, LeBron. But instead, he's like, "Oh no, what? I do have the bag. I do." Bro, why are you arguing with people on the internet?
About me? Why didn't everybody agree with me that I'm the greatest? I'm the greatest. Everyone should think I'm the greatest. I'm sick of this shit, yo.
Sick of it.
I'm sick of it. And what makes it even funnier is as he's doing this, right? Like he's literally watching the next generation take over. And he, you know what I'm saying? Like this whoever wins this finals is going to usher in the new era of NBA basketball. You know what I'm saying?
No,
his
right.
time has passed. He doesn't, and like for some odd reason, he thinks that, you know, what he's accomplished isn't enough. I'm like, bruh, you've done enough. Like you can retire right now. You have 2 Hall of Fame careers. If you split your stuff up 10 years apiece, you have 2 Hall of Fame careers. There's really nothing else that you have to do to prove it. You're not going to be number one in everyone's eyes. Jordan isn't even number one in everyone's eyes.
Yeah,
it's just that they think he's better than you.
And some people think you're better than him. Jordan has no problems with people thinking that LeBron is better than him. Jordan is not out here campaigning and stuff. And we talked about the media
commentators keeping the fire.
Exactly. And Jordan is again on record saying he doesn't like that conversation. So LeBron, give it up, man. Let us have the conversation. You leave it to us, man. You just go ball.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, if anything, LeBron just needs to turn off the social media, lock in one more time, and seeing if he can bring in another title. Because I'll tell you one thing: if he wins a 5th title, I mean, that's going to make his case even stronger as the GOAT. He still won't be in my eyes, but you know. Anyway, let us know what you think there, Brodies. Like and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Click on the bottom right-hand corner and like and subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. But next week, we're going to be continuing on with our fantasy countdown. We'll see who photo finishes with the NBA Finals, and we'll also see what's going on with the flavors of the week here. But until then, it's the Lord Head Cold World. It's the guy Jay Wiggs. It's Brody Sports Talk, y'all. We'll see you next week. Peace.